It's 7:01 on Thursday, January 29th, 2026, and I will call the Finance Committee meeting to order. This is a hybrid meeting and is being recorded. I have with me in the room from Finance Committee, John Croft, Andy Olderman, Maury Creighton, Peter Twining, and myself, Sarah Melish. We also have in the room Ann Harrison from the Select Board, Tony Barletta, Town Administrator, Andrea Mainville, Finance Director, Lion Pike, Harbor Master, and could you give me your name?
Andrew Vanikiotis, Deputy Harbor Master.
Okay, thank you.
I was waiting to see if you could pronounce his last
name. Not a chance. We also have Dean Nahadas from the Finance Committee in the room. And we have a visitor, Carl Doan.
Carl Doan, Chairman of the Harbor Advisory.
Thank you. With that, we will start with the Harbor fiscal year 27 operations and capital budgets. Which is on page
49.
49. We're using last piece, is that correct, Andrea?
That's correct.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. Okay.
And Sarah, we're going to do the launch service as well as the operating budget, right?
Correct. Yep, we'll do the harbor master, the launch service, and then the, okay. Harbor master. Can you give us an overview?
Sure. So we're working on operation or capital first?
Operations.
Operation. So I think you'll notice the big ticket item this year is staffing. We're trying to bring our staffing numbers up for operating the department into the part of the night which I have not traditionally run the department. If you look at all of the surrounding departments, the larger towns will often run 24-hour harbor departments. Others run, depending on the day of the week, till 10 at night or midnight. We have almost, without exception since I've been here, 4th of July, 3rd of July, fireworks. Special events finished around 8 o'clock at night, and that's an oversight on my part. We should have been operating the bulk of the activity that is potentially problematic is late in the day when folks
After 8. Late in the day.
late in the day, folks who are still out in the harbor, anchored or out to dinner, headed back. That's the time of day when you see some of the more serious problems with boaters. And we haven't staffed. We should be staffing for that. So that's the big thing I think you see in the increase in the budget.
So have you got the increase in hours,
How many hours?
Russell?
We didn't do that. Yeah, we didn't.
Or some metric of how much you're expanding the,
What we're looking at just doing right now, potentially Thursday, Friday, but definitely Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
okay.
So this year what I did was I actually went out there. I'm salary, so it didn't really cost us anything to go out there and do it. And the response was awesome. I mean, we did have a lot of activity, and a lot of people came up to us and were like, what are you guys doing out here till 10 o'clock? Well, that's where the problem is. And by doing it, we did see a reduction in boats over at Sand Hill and Cove after a certain period.
And can you give me a little flavor of the problems?
A lot of it is underage drinking. I mean, that's the majority of it. Safety issues. But like what we try to do is, yes, we're enforcement side of it, but we're trying to educate these people. So that one warning unless it's excessive, and then we'll take action. I mean, we wrote a ton of tickets, but I would say only 3 or 4 of those were money sites this year. But we're just letting them know that we're out there, we are engaged. I know it's really not, it's not the local people that are the issue, it's outside of that coming in. Because, on Saturday and Sunday, I mean, that place is packed. And it's typically from our surrounding towns where everybody's coming in.
An observation on my part this year is that we had fewer incidents, accidents, reports of misbehavior, not zero, but certainly less than we have in the past because there was a presence. So, and how do you quantify that? How do you say, well, what's the value of that? You can't, except that we didn't have any serious incidents this year. Well, that's the goal.
Yeah, so can I?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Gene.
Do we keep a separate record of the number of requests for safety issued for service or?
I can touch on that.
Okay.
So we don't right now, and that's something that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So the police use something that's called IMC, which is kind of the model we're moving to, so we can document all these calls.
Yeah.
So that way we can say, hey, this is why we're out here. But I mean, we have to start our presence somewhere.
I would think you'd need something like people complaining that requests weren't getting met before needing to add hours in a tight budget year. But
That's exactly why we did increase it, because people did come to us and say,
well,
There's
is
a
there a
problem.
record of it then?
well, we just said there isn't.
So,
So Brian, the hours are Monday through Wednesday, I guess. What are the, give me the hours. I have the weeks divided in 2 parts with different hours for some of the weekdays and then longer hours for the end of the week and the weekend. What are those hours?
So Andy, you operated until 10 on Friday, Saturday,
Sunday.
and Sunday.
And that's 8 to 10, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. or what?
8 a.m., that's when we would get started, yes. So typically the way I would do it is I would have a harbor master on in the morning, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when it was just me, I'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would be the early person. And then you have another person that comes in at noon or 2 and finishes the day.
Would there be any sense in thinking about tight budget year, starting the day a little later? I would suspect there's less activity from 8 in the morning to 9 or 10. Could you start at 10 and go to 10, or start at 11 and go to,
Yeah, I mean,
match up where the peak need is?
there's a lot of different models you can set up. The biggest issue is something doesn't always happen when it's convenient, and it's typically when you don't have that coverage. Like 8 a.m., you get a lot of calls for it's a pump out, or even if it's one of our transient voters coming in or something like that. It's good to have a assistant, harbor master there to assist them. What we try to do is when we have the assistants there, we're there as backup. But it's just, it's a lot for a small department.
I spent years in my office trying to work from 8 until noon, hoping and praying that it would be a quiet day. And I don't have the metric for how many times that was interrupted, and the administrative piece of this job, which is no small thing, was set aside so that I could rush down to the boat and respond to a call. It could be something as simple as, hey, Brian, there's a boat in Proctor Cove. It looks low in the water. Well, I can't ignore that. I can't say, yeah, I'll get out there in a couple hours, gotta finish payroll. Can't do that.
It's amazing how much small stuff we actually get called out to do, and I wish there was a documentation of it, because had we had that, I mean, it's amazing. So hopefully next year, we have the same conversation, we'll have, you know, the reports and the calls and everything else. But we need the staff to be able to accomplish
How do the dock fees collected compare to the cost of the dock staff?
Probably about 50%, maybe 50. All right, so we brought in 43,000
It's up for 25.
for 25.
Is that just dock, it's excluding the launch?
That's just the dock.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah. And then staffing was 19,500, so it was less than.
okay.
That's good.
I'm confused about all these positions.
And would the extended hours, could that be used to like extend the launch as well?
Let's not talk about the launch right now.
I do have an answer for that when we get to lunch.
Okay.
We're gonna talk
There's a
about the
synergy,
launch
but okay.
next, okay? I just
Can I
don't want to
ask a
confuse
question?
things.
So on the revenue, 45K, did that all come through Dockwell?
For the dock, it's 100% dock.
Yeah. And that, is that net of their
With
fees?
the occasional exception of, no, I'm sorry, that was lunch, no. The dock is all dock. Yes.
And that's net of fees? That's the, so that's what we get as revenue, 45K? And the, so whatever they take is pulled out of that automatically or already?
No,
They get charged.
right, they get charged on top.
Okay,
So we pay
The
an
people
annual,
paying do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So what we've cleared is 45K. Is perfect, great. 43, sorry.
43 and a half.
43.4.
Okay.
Close enough.
I'm confused about all these positions. I didn't know we had so many things called harbor master.
Can you explain the positions that are in the department?
So we have a harbor master, one.
That I knew.
One of those.
Key.
And thankfully, we have one now deputy harbor master, Andy. We are the two full-time staff. Then we have a lot of older retired people.
Full-time, year-round,
No, are all seasonal part-time.
but I mean for the two of you.
Oh, we're full-time year-round.
No, year-round.
We are costing you the full, well, actually, the boaters, the full boat. The others are the staffers who work Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, filling in all the different shifts. It would be great if it were 3 or 4 people, but seasonal part-time job does not appeal to people looking for full-time year-round jobs. So we hire experienced, part-time, retired people and fit them in when they aren't going to doctor's appointments, visiting with grandchildren, and that sort of thing. So there are a lot,
Mhm.
but we wouldn't cover the shifts if we didn't have all of them.
But listed in the spreadsheet is assistant harbor master / clerk, and then there's part-time deputy harbor masters.
Okay, so
What's the difference?
So the part-time deputy is no longer, that was one person that when I asked for a full-time deputy, I was given a part-time, he was seasonally 40 hours a week. He's now just an assistant harbor master. The spreadsheet that you're looking at isn't
I didn't
accurately
update that.
reflecting the titles. We have a harbor master, a deputy, and then assistant harbor masters. The clerk is an old title. I had somebody help me for a very, very short period of time, and she had to be her own title. She wasn't an assistant harbor master. So there is no clerk. So it's harbor master, deputy harbor master, and then assistant harbor master.
So we're gonna roll those into one line?
Yes,
So
I'll
I'm
do
not
that.
confused?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so-
we'll do that. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I did not update that.
Okay.
So the part-time and the assistant are gonna be
They're all the
Yes.
same, yeah.
one item?
Yeah.
Lines 3 and 4 will be one item.
And those represent part-time employees
Part-time
to
seasonal.
assist on an as-needed
And they're on
seasonal
the water.
basis.
Yes,
And there's no benefits.
no,
And the numbers on the two lines, it's the sum of the two? In other words,
Right.
when you combine the lines, it's the sum of the two.
87,000 requested.
What?
About 87,000 requested and about 60,000 budgeted for last year.
yeah, that increases the,
Yeah, but look at the TA recommended. It's different.
I'm just looking at last year's budgeted, which looks like is about 60, and the requested this year, you're right, is closer to 80.
But look at the TA recommended.
I know.
Which is 60, something. 60.
No, the TA recommended is about 42, 43.
No,
No,
60.
24,
24,
923,
36.
plus
I'm looking-
36, 951.
The first blue column.
I'm looking at lines 3 and 4.
Yeah,
yes.
it's about
Okay.
60,800.
All right.
And then the police patrol is police department?
right, we have police officers that come out on the boat with us.
Okay.
Even though Andy's deputized,
Andy cannot be here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Much as he tries.
My wife wouldn't appreciate it.
Right.
okay, so this is the additional hours that Andy's not here.
Well, yeah. and
Yeah, I mean,
If there's something that happens.
Yep.
Then
And we need a
we
police
need a
officer on
police
the water.
officer, and
So you call them?
Oh, yeah.
So this is on request that you have police patrol?
So on weekends.
Yeah.
We have occasionally with the orange boat, maybe a little more than occasionally, we've had a harbor master and a police
Okay.
officer
I see.
together.
Why don't we put that in this budget? So please.
It comes out of the waterway funds.
Yeah, we pay them.
I like it done.
Separate family.
Okay.
But the orange boat requires 2 people, right, to operate it? Or can it be operated with 1 person?
No, so here's the thing, the boat is designed to be operated by 4 people. We try our absolute best to always have 2 on there.
Mhm.
Sometimes we just don't have the staff.
Yeah.
And you have to have 2 boats out there. So, yeah, so what that requires is a higher level of communication between the 2 boats that are out there. Because that
One
boat.
person on each.
Right. That boat is much harder to interdict or assist with 1 person the way it's set up. There was a,
and the reason there needs to be 2 boats, is that because you've got so many locations to cover and, on our shoreline?
it goes back to 2017 when residents, remember Sandal Cove got extremely busy. The volume of traffic came in, took all of my attention, all of it. A resident up the coast said, you know, you're not doing your job.
Right.
Because we're here too.
Yep.
So that precipitated the need to buy the second boat and staff it. So we've got the safe boat. It was a steal from a price standpoint, and it served us, but it is far from ideal when you don't run 2 people on the boat.
We'll come back to that
Yeah.
when we get to capital.
Okay.
And what are professional services?
Aqua, town mooring, our big ticket software
Okay.
that assists
when to work.
when to work, right, the scheduling app.
So Brian, as I looked down, so I see the dock staff,
Mhm.
how many staff, that's what, 2 people always on the dock, 20, is that?
So on the busy days, you have someone come in early, and then you'll have someone come in middle part of the day.
Yep.
When the dock is out straight, and then a person to close at the end of the day. So it's,
And that's the 10 o'clock time.
we close the dock at sunset.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And other salaries, how does that differentiate?
That's been removed.
I'm sorry?
That's been removed. It was for
Oh,
off-season
excuse me.
training.
I was gonna say,
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
take
been,
it.
it's been removed.
So,
And the longevity's been removed.
No,
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 longevity's still-
no,
It's in
that's,
there.
that-
It's
that's
in
there. And the longevity is for,
Andy and I think I've received it once.
Just curious, how many boats are we operating? Is it,
So we've got,
let's wait till we get to capital.
my question
Okay.
is actually relative to
Okay.
maintenance expenses, and I guess
Got
the
it,
question
okay.
is 16,000 appropriate for one boat or four boats? That's the nature of the question.
well, what's nice is we have the experience and the capability to do a lot of our services in-house.
Mhm.
So we're able to keep down the costs, immensely.
so it's for 2 boats.
so it's 3 boats.
Okay.
Right, so we've got the pump out boat, the Eastern, and the safe boat. We won't talk about the launch because that's separate.
Okay.
Do we have a capital plan for like repowering?
So I do put in for that, actually, we're in need of some repowering, but not this year.
That's good.
We have a schedule of that we'll pass out when we get to capital.
As long as we keep track of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not cheap.
No,
What's the rationale for the decrease in gas price? Is there less boats? It was 800 last year, and we're going with 500 this year.
The actual in 25 was
For the
795.
Eastern,
Oh, it's just
It was reduced in last year's budget, Dean. It was reduced in
gasoline.
2026.
gasoline and oil, this is for the truck. That's a separate, that's not the
Oh.
boats.
Oh,
Gasoline and oil, and, let me see, what's the other one? There's another one.
When you get time.
Or maybe it's all, no, it's all in one now. It used to be maintenance and then gasoline and oil. And that's for the pickup truck.
so the gas and oil are in the boat expenses line?
No, those
Well,
are.
the gas for the boats is in the boats.
Oh, yeah, right, so the
Okay.
expense
Oh,
line for boats includes everything.
Including the truck.
no, the truck
No,
is
it's
separate.
not.
The truck's separate.
This is the 54,800 is the,
Truck is, the
Shitty,
truck
shitty
gas
bang
and
bang.
oil is on the gas oil line.
And that includes maintenance. I understand includes gas and oil, I got it, but I was wondering.
No, the maintenance is,
Boat expenses.
no,
Oh, here it is.
that's
Auto-
not the truck.
Expenses
Auto-
versus
No.
repairs and maintenance and gas for the boats. The
Separate.
truck is the auto truck repairs and the gasoline and oil.
Right, so there's two
So
different.
it's the
Oh, okay.
second line
Okay,
and the
second
third to
line.
last,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, yes.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
We can add the word vehicle to that line title, if you'd like.
and that stays low too, because we do the maintenance for that as well.
Any other questions on these expenses or salaries?
Just one from my point of view. Medical supplies, I assume you need, I noticed, now if I've read all this correctly, that's been zeroed. You don't carry any medical
We
supplies?
do, but I'm no longer an EMT. I surrendered that license. I was the only EMT in the department. You don't send an EMT out alone to be an EMT. It's an impossibility. And it was a liability for the town, from my perspective, to send one EMT out. You have an EMT to drive, and you have an EMT to deal with the patient, the casualty. And we don't do that. It's one person, it's just me. So the first aid kit has gone from, on the safe boat in the Eastern to, a jump kit for an EMT down to a first responder. So the expense of maintaining that fits easily into the boat
Thanks,
expenses.
got it. And do you get a lot of medical calls? I mean,
A lot is a stretch, but I will tell you, when we get them, they're pretty darn serious.
they are. How do you handle them? What is the
Every
process?
situation is different. So the biggest one we've had was the boat with 10 people on board that drove up all the way on to Half Tide Rock. And it was elderly folks and handicapped individuals. We had a broken orbital eye socket, broken finger, a broken neck, a dislocated shoulder. So it's like any accident. It can be, I cut my finger on a fish hook, or I broke my neck when we hit a rock.
But isn't that why we have police and fire?
Yeah, but police and fire cannot respond in ambulances and cars out there. That's us. So the equipment we have to respond with,
Yeah.
is to get them there. They're coming down with all of their own gear, all
Right.
of their own equipment.
Yeah.
But we maintain the asset. We are their fire truck, we are their ambulance, we are their police car, we're all of those things.
And you call on that to assist, and
Well, yeah.
you bring them back to the
Except
dock.
the safe
Yes, like
boat.
our main goal
Well,
is to
safe boat
get
too,
them
actually.
safely onto the boat,
Exactly.
as safely as possible, depending on what the injury is.
Right.
And then get them to
The
shore
yacht club.
as soon as we can.
Yeah.
And that's, like, going back to what he was talking about liability wise, that's why I'll only be a first responder, because I can't render, the same care that an EMT can. So to hold a license like that kind of puts me at, liable and town liable. So the way we're training, especially this year, is get them as safely as we can onto the boat and get them to shore.
Do you have like a boat gurney for like the guy with the broken neck to
So
immobilize? or-
we keep a backboard, although that's falling out of favor with EMS. We have collars. We provide the level of care that we're legally allowed to, right? And there are cases where we may bring the fire department out to the casualty.
That's what I was wondering,
Right.
yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
the thing to remember is that when a boat goes, when your car crashes,
Uh-huh.
everybody's right there. When the boat crashes, they might end up on the bottom of the ocean. So our approach is often fraught with a lot more risk and danger for everybody involved.
So that's why we do a lot of training with police and fire.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah.
So like we train so that way we all can work together and go out there and do this stuff safely.
Yeah, and we do. That's the really great thing in this town.
Just did a training recently
And
at Gordon College
That's right.
with the fire department
Yeah, the
On-
police department.
and the police department on if they were to fall overboard into the water with all their gear on, how they safely can get out of the water.
Oh, good.
That was just last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
With certified instructors. $25 a person, and Andy organized it. Andy made that happen.
Good.
So,
I just have a
Okay.
question sort of about ongoing maintenance. So, not to be touchy, but I know, Bion, you're kind of focused eventually on retirement. I'm not sure when that's happening. And you do a lot of maintenance around here. And we have more and more stuff that requires more and more maintenance. And I think we've benefited by not having to farm that out. But if we can't bring on somebody who can do all that, what do you think's going to happen with these numbers? And where I'm going with this is we just don't want to be looking at the end of a fiscal year where we're suddenly like, whoa, what happened here? And it's because the team changed and suddenly we're like having to hire out
Right.
every little thing that has to happen.
All right, so we've been fortunate. We've had very capable people on staff. Good news is that the deputy harbor master you hired is actually far more skilled at the mechanical things especially than I ever will be. Andy is exceptionally good at these things. He was a mechanic in his career. So you're at least even. And when it comes to the building of floats, the doing the in-house repairs, we've been doing since 2012. I can only assume that when I'm on my way out the door, Andy is going to be bringing in people of equal skill. Now, if it's the people that we have on staff now, that skill already exists. The 21 floats that are sitting up at the treatment plant, ready to go in the water, I procured the materials. I went up and said, we're gonna do it this way, and I came back and that's what was done. Exactly that,
Yeah, we have a lot of
skill.
awesome staff members.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, to give them a shout out tonight, I mean, they really are really incredible. They bring a lot to the team, so, I mean, further on down the line, whether it's me or somebody else, you have an awesome team already, right? So,
So do I gather the sort of response to Maury is that even as Brian retires, we should be able to sustain a lot of our in-house repair capability.
You know,
yeah, I mean, that's our goal, because,
Yeah.
I mean, not only does it keep our overhead budget down, but you can see it with the police. It's hard to get cars fixed all the time and everything else. You're always at someone else's whim. If you can do it in-house, you can get stuff done when you need it done. And it saves on the equipment too.
there's a lot of pride of ownership. There's a lot of pride of ownership in the staff and all these things that we actually do.
I'll just add that a lot of the capital requests that we weren't able to do were with that mindset. You know, it was them trying to think of ways that we could do more stuff in-house and less stuff, you know, needing the boatyard's assistance for different types of things that we have to do with, whether it be launching or, you know, pulling a boat out or trailering or storing or winterization, those types of things, being able to do that in-house. But that's the mindset that I think you have with the department is how do we approach this with a way of cost savings to the town?
The concern here was that we can sustain that as staffing changes. I mean,
That's the goal.
That's the goal, yeah.
That's the goal. Certainly not, you know, I don't think that we would be approaching the budget with a plan for the opposite. You know, I wouldn't, if we run into that issue, we'll adjust at that point, but I wouldn't build extra funds in here, assuming that we're not gonna be able to do stuff in-house, you know?
3 months after I'm gone, everybody's gonna say, didn't we have that guy with that funny sounding first name, the harbor master? And they'll say, we got that new guy with the funny sounding last name
Yeah.
here now. So that piece of how this harbor's been running for the last 14 years isn't going away.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other questions on this harbor master salary and expense budget?
I just want to be clear on two lines, the request, and then the town administrator recommended. So Brian wanted to expand the hours, we heard about that. Tony does not want to expand the hours, we took that out.
Well, I want to expand the hours. It's kind of another, it's another,
Money.
similar to the library discussion of last week. Looking at the bigger picture
I know.
of where we are with the school,
Yep.
I didn't feel it was appropriate, but it was
I just want
something
to be
that
clear.
I'd be willing to go back and look at if those other things work out.
I totally agree with you. I just want to make sure we were. And so we're like 1.5%.
This is typical for our budgets, that there's a request column that's different from the recommended column.
So we're at a 1.5% total increase for the
So,
Yes,
budget, so it's fine.
Dean?
so after 3 years of over 25% increases, I find this very refreshing and move to approve it as noted.
Okay, so you're moving to approve the harbor master salary and expense budget for a total of $317,838.
Second.
Peter seconds. Any discussion? I'll take a vote. Dean?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And Sarah votes yes.
50%, thank you. You still have capital to go.
We got the launch too.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we're going to go to the launch services, which is on page 50, the next page.
Went down.
And this is saying it's 100% covered by launch fees. Is that correct, Andrea?
That's correct.
Sounds good.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have the
Okay.
launch fees already pledged or paid for? Or-
Not yet.
These are estimated launch fees.
Right, so we're in the renewal season, so we aren't going to have all of our fees in until spring, sometime in the spring. I haven't heard a lot of noise about people dropping off. I have people asking if we're going to increase our hours, because then they would be interested if we were gonna run beyond sunset. If we started running what would be more traditional launch hours. So,
I mean, I think that in prior meetings, we've discussed this launch service in detail, and our requirement is that the fees that come in cover the expenses, and if we start running into a year when the fees don't start covering the expenses, then that's the point when we look at it again and say, do we continue with the launch? That's kind of been,
And what decision did we make about paying back the capital? I know we've been doing some payment of it because of.
right.
Is there a schedule anticipated for that repayment? Do we?
I don't think we have a anticipated schedule, right, Andrea?
Right.
No, not yet.
And am I missing the boat, as I guess I am? The launch fees seem to be $34,255, and the launch expense is $53,000, and you say it's 100% covered? What am I missing?
Harbor Tours,
She came back with corrected numbers for us.
Yeah.
They're not.
yeah, so,
Right,
so,
Andrea?
Yes, I did.
so part of
I
the
have those
problem for Andrea is that when people make their payments through Unipay,
Yeah.
sometimes they'll just make a lump payment in moorings. So we had to go back through all of the data and extract, okay, it was fairly easy, because when you look at a line and you see, okay, it's a mooring fee and they paid $1,100, that's a good indication that they lumped their,
No, I understand.
so.
I'm one of those people. I lump them together.
So Andrea,
I
can
know,
you
Peter.
update these two revenue lines in this report?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Just out of curiosity, what is the correct sum of the revenue line?
For fiscal year,
Well, you probably have it, but I don't.
Oh, I'm looking at.
we had it at another meeting.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry,
well, I
I'm
have it by
forgetting it.
calendar year and I have it by fiscal year, so,
Right.
I mean.
Oh, that's right, we did it by the season.
Right. 'Cause
Right.
like
What
then
was
you
it
can
for
see-
last season?
So last season, as of November 18th, it was, total revenue was $45,653.
I'm wondering if there's a way to run it more efficiently. Like, it seems like very labor intensive to keep from 7 AM to 6 PM. If there were a way to do it by appointment only or schedule it, would that be more efficient?
So you still have to have the staff, even if it's by appointment. You can't, we can't have Paul Stone sitting at home waiting for a phone call and not pay him. So the nature of launch service is.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
The fees, expenses.
It would be wonderful
Fiscal
if we
year,
could.
season.
Plus having the guys down there that actually generates our tour.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Harbor Tours were
Got it.
more this year.
Okay.
So
We're
maybe-
poor?
Maybe
More.
Sarah.
More, right.
Sarah, maybe you just answered this, but I'm a
Yeah.
little confused. So it looks
So-
like
so
salaries
she's
and
giving-
expenses are 62,000, but there's 45
No,
coming
there's
in.
53.
53 even.
And so the
That's
fees,
requested.
that's for, no, recommended is 53,000, and that is for the fiscal year, whereas we're looking at fees for the last season.
Right. So I just look back at fiscal year '26 budgeted, which is the year we're in right now and working through, and that's 62,400. which the town voted on last year. So that's the number we're currently working with. And Andrea's reporting that,
July 1st to June 30th.
But
yeah,
Andrew's
Andrea's reporting that revenue,
not for the fiscal year, for the season, which crosses 2 fiscal years.
Right, we still have
so
2 months.
I'm not sure quite what the difference.
Andrew, do you have the expenses for that same time period?
Yeah, she gave
I
it to
do.
us.
Yeah, so last season it was $33,092.96. So even though we budgeted in FY '25
62,400.
62,414.
yeah, for FY '26. So like part of that is in FY '26 and part of it's in FY '25 of that 62. It's hard when I wish our year end wasn't June 30th
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well,
I know-
no, the 62 is in FY '26, but the 30,000 that was spent is partly in FY '25 and
And-
partly in FY '26. So you have to look at the expenses and the revenue by season and compare those,
Which she
which
gave
is the
us.
33 and the 40, whatever. the
So- Our, what,
I have it again if you want to pass it out and look at it.
yeah, that'd be,
So one
Great.
request, I know we
Um,
asked about this
wait,
last year.
let me just finish. Are we under budget for fiscal year 26?
Yes.
Okay.
So I know we had requested quarterly reports on this, because a year ago, or 9 months ago, we were very concerned about kind of where all this was going.
And this
Could
is,
we get back on track on the quarterlies?
Yeah.
Because the quarterlies will allow us to look at an operating year versus a fiscal year.
I think
You
we
just
are,
take 2 quarters and 2 quarters, and you just move them around to get the same.
I think we are on track. The last quarterly report you got was for, as of November, and there is no launch service,
Right.
right? So,
there's no expenses,
yeah, so there's nothing really to report.
which is why we
But
asked
But
her
I
to
think
As
you
far
would
as the
talk about
fiscal year,
pulling it out just for that,
Right.
just for this.
And I do include it in my quarterly report, like as of September 30th, and then I owe you guys for December 31st,
But it
for
won't,
like fiscal year.
Which is why we asked her to
expenses
give it
aren't
to
gonna
us for the
change.
season,
Not
because
for-
it was too
Yes.
confusing crossing the 2 fiscals.
So,
And so those were the launch services reports we're now requesting from her is based on the season, not the fiscal year.
so for '27, our revenue projection is sufficient to cover or not to cover the expense?
Well,
Break even.
yeah,
Hopefully
I
more.
would think
Vote towards.
similar to this last season. It's
There won't be
I
a
see-
change in the fees that you're
Right.
anticipating.
no change in the fees. I don't see any drop off in the number of seasonal customers.
Okay, and what kind of a number is that by on?
It's around 70. I think it was 68.
Okay,
I don't think you'll see any major changes unless you increase the hours.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just gonna be the.
So do we have a plan to increase the fees this year?
if we talked a little bit about fees.
Yeah, we did.
In order to increase the fees, we have to start having that discussion in the spring. And then essentially they get installed into the system in the fall for the following year.
Okay,
It's renewal
So it's something
starts.
that we'll be looking at,
Yeah.
but it won't be for this summer.
sure, yeah, okay.
Right, so if
Be
if
for
you-
2027, so.
from our side of it, we can't have the discussions in June, July, and August, and September when we're in the height of the season. So pre-season and get that approved through you and the select board by the fall so that we can change all of our platforms for when we send out renewals in December,
right.
which I will not be doing. Because I'll be gone. Oh, I'm sure.
I think I'm finally clear on what we're doing here.
So you'll have a number of people signing on by the time you start looking at, do we adjust the fees for the next year, is that correct?
Yeah, when do you start getting the numbers of people signing on?
We've already started collection that started right after the first of the year. It's gonna get hot and heavy here in the next month because mooring renewals
On March.
are March 1st.
So yeah, so I would say yes.
Okay,
When we looked at the launch, I think it was in October, we assigned what the expenses were and what the profit was. And the difference, I believe we assigned towards the reduction of capital.
right.
So, do we have an estimate on what we're gonna do for this year, for that reduction?
If the numbers are the same, I would think, I'm expecting that harbor tours will increase again.
Yeah.
As they did this last year. So if our expenses are flat and our harbor tours increase, if our launch service customers are flat, I would expect there to be a little bit more money to go.
What about our hourly rate for the seasonals?
Didn't change.
That,
Right, so,
Yeah.
right, the only thing that would drive the cost up at this point would be, significantly would be if we adjusted those launch service hours to mirror what other communities offer. And, we presented those numbers. But assuming that that doesn't happen, I would expect there to be a little more revenue to go.
Roads capital.
Because I think the intent is not only to pay off this capital expense, but to have another kitty within the time frame that we need new boats.
Mhm.
So that's a pretty aggressive payment every year. So we have to consider that.
So, Andy and I both were, Andy had the launches at the yacht club forever, managed those. And I worked for two other launch service companies. These launches, the platforms will last a very, very long time. I expect
About a 10-year schedule, yeah.
That says 10, but I would say that that's,
As long as you maintain it, you're gonna get, the launches at the yacht club right now are what, 24, 25 now, 25 years old?
You have to look at the schedule, the actual payback.
What are you
And
looking
is
at?
that true also of their
That's-
transmissions and their engines?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it depends
It
on
is.
your drivers, I mean, that's why rigorous training.
so
I still remember when I first started, Jack yelling at me, but we stopped there.
just additionally to that, Dean, we didn't increase the hourly rate for the part-timers riding the launch this year. We're probably gonna have to increase that next year. We'll factor that into a potential fee increase to cover that. But so there's another expense
Component.
increase, yep.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm back on services, sorry, but
What do you mean services?
I'm not talking about capital.
Okay.
I'm talking about operating.
Thank
So
you.
in '25, we had budgeted about 34,000. In '26, we had budgeted 62,000, and we're in that year now. And the recommended or the requested is 53,000. So I know there's a little bit of timing going on here, but the revenue on this whole operation is about 45. So the current year we're in and what we're asking for '27 are all above what we're asking for revenue. And I'm just wondering, why are we doing that, or are we intentionally planning to run this in the red?
So the big increase was as with the harbor masters, I threw out there, we want to increase our hours to better mirror, as I said, with the idea that there are people who would be willing to sign on.
So that's what you did for the 26 budget?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 26 budget included an assumption of extra launch hours.
Yep.
Which was nixed.
Right.
So we're gonna come in under budget
So
for
we'll
26.
come in more around 30, I think Andrea around 30,
45.
30,
40.
40.
Very,
So
very
it'll be
similar.
close. So this current budget request of 53, are we still going on the assumption we're gonna have more people, or is that 53 above what we are thinking we're gonna get for revenue?
We call it Harbor Tour of Hope.
So, I expect there to be more harbor tours. We saw an increase this last year.
This is without like not really advertising it.
We do zero marketing right now.
Yep.
I'm leery of doing that because we don't want to overwhelm this new child that we have with too much demand for harbor tours and needing to bring in a second launch driver. If somebody books a harbor tour in advance and it's going to be a full boat, $300 for an hour, then we can bring in that extra person to drive the boat and have the other launch for a launch service.
So mechanically then, Andrea, the way we deal with this is you sort of watch what we bring in for revenue.
I do.
And we probably won't hit that, if we don't have the revenue, we won't hit that 53.
Right.
But
That's the,
we will be asking the voters to approve the 53. And if we don't spend the 53, it goes down to free cash.
Right.
So we're taxing people for money we're not using, but we've been talking about that for
But it's
years.
a minimum.
And we're trying to manage that, so
right,
that's
and
fine.
this, like, it's, I put it under estimated revenues and receipts, like local
Yep.
receipts, not taxation, so like I'm expecting
Okay.
53 over here is for revenue and 53 over here for
Got it.
expenses, and if I don't get that over here, then I'm not gonna spend it over here.
But the 53 in revenue that you're trying to accomplish
Yep.
is July 1 to June 30.
Right, right,
But the analysis that we're doing
right.
is what's the
April
season
1.
months?
Right, so
April
May,
to,
June, July, I'm sorry, July, August, September, October, so the fiscal starts.
so this 53
Right.
will cover July to October of
Right.
the upcoming summer.
Yep.
And then April to June
Right,
of the following summer.
yep,
So, but when you're looking at a seasonal basis, you're looking at April to.
And that's why it's sort
Which
of-
gives him an opportunity for fee increases
right.
for the beginning of 27.
And it's part of the reason when I asked the question, I was looking back at 62, which is the year we're currently in, 2 quarters in, 2 quarters out, and this new budget will be 2 quarters in, 2 quarters out. So it's, that all makes sense. It's just kind of looking forward.
And the other thing that helps me is, the people who buy the pass, like,
Yeah.
that's a good chunk right up front too, so.
Yeah.
We're on track,
Prepayment.
so
So,
it helps.
yes, and for anyone who's wondering, well, how do we collect those launch service? What's the mechanism? It's DocLog. We use DocLog to capture those harbor tours and per ride launch fees.
Okay, have we done enough on the launch?
I think
I
we've
think
beaten it to
we've
death.
beaten this horse down, yes.
Do I have a motion to approve the 53,000 for fiscal year 27 for
So
total
moved.
salaries and expenses for launch?
So moved.
Let's second. John seconds. Any more discussion? Take a vote. Dean?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Andy? Lori?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And Sarah votes yes. Okay. On to Harbor Capital.
How can we beat this up?
Capital is page 78.
Thank you.
For your paper file. I know, I'm having to clear out my second floor and trying to figure out how many filing cabinets I have to move down to the first floor. Okay. So Harbor,
Trailer.
so that's been removed. Yes.
Yep.
And the equipment, transport, emergency response has been removed.
Yes. And public safety votes.
And public safety boats have been revoked. And Morse Pier is the match for the grant.
And then
And
we
dredging.
dredging. Do you want them to touch on the ones that have been
Removed?
removed?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Yes, please,
So-
yes, please.
Not to great extent, but
Yeah.
give us the
Under
Reader's
great
Digest.
duress.
Yes,
Trailer, the idea, trailer was that we would have a hydraulic trailer that could transport all of our vessels and store them where we keep them up at the water treatment plant. One trailer maintained rather than a trailer for each and every, we don't have trailers for the launches. So we're paying the boatyard to haul those out and transport those for us. The idea was to bring that in-house using the single trailer. So we'll continue with the current model.
and that's included in the launch expenses.
The trailers?
Hauling.
No, the trailer would have been across.
No,
She's
no,
asking
boatyards,
about the launch.
hauling costs.
Oh, the launch hauling costs, yeah, oh yeah, that, all those, the spreadsheet on my computer tracks exactly what money is spent on which vessel and.
Okay, just wanted to verify.
With Boatyard hauls the boats, the launches,
Crocker.
could we ask them nicely if they could do that, so.
They actually do give us, they give us a break on some stuff. Some stuff they do for free. The rest is not for free. But I will say, since Andy's come on board, the expense of oil changes, winterization, changing a water pump right here, so it's very helpful.
Just reduces that downtime too.
Thanks, Andy.
And then obviously consolidating into one trailer versus having
Right.
3.
Yeah, so the long-term goal is to reduce our maintenance overall. If we can get rid of all of our trailers, because we know what happens to trailers that sit forever and then you gotta use them, there's always an issue. And then store everything up at the water treatment plant, so that way we can work on everything ourselves.
Is that inside storage or outside storage?
No, it's
Just
outside.
Okay, I thought I figured it must be.
It'd be nice to have inside storage.
I've requested inside storage.
I know.
Next
We
year's
nixed it.
capital request.
DPW might have a pole
DPW
barn you
barn.
could have. We're looking for a place for that.
No.
We'll build it.
All right, and then the vehicle.
Yeah, so vehicle, obviously the transport, I mean, right now, yes, we have one vehicle. It has a purpose, we use it for the kids to go and do all the docks and a lot of the other maintenance, but for hauling our boats right now, a lot of times we're up at DPW trying to steal trucks that they don't have time to give us, but.
They've got lots of trucks sitting up there most days.
Yeah. Talk about running trucks.
Thank you for the clarification.
Didn't we provide a truck, allow a truck?
Yes,
So-
Harbor has a truck.
So we have a truck, the truck we have can haul the boats with the exception of the safe boat, which that requires a much larger 3/4 to 1 ton truck. And we do use it for dock maintenance, for storage of crap that floats in the harbor, removing kayaks and paddle boards from where they don't belong. It is a serviceable vessel, but in order to become fully self-sustaining with maintenance and transportation, the truck that's proposed would need to be purchased.
Yeah, I mean, right now, what we've done to that Ranger, I mean, we shouldn't be pulling boats, some of those boats with that. This would give us the capability to do a lot more, store a lot more equipment that we need, not only from the department itself, but kind of the police side of it, the enforcement we do. There's a lot of stuff built into this truck that would allow us to do a job there. Instead of trying to drive back over here, do reports, everything else, you'd have the capability in there to do it. And plus now we have more trainings because we're required to have, I'm required to have more training than police officers. I have to have 40 hours plus 20 hours plus in service and then outside trainings. So I'm always all over the place. And currently I can't take the Ranger because the guys need it here. So I take my own personal. So to have a company vehicle that we use to do that and also to respond would make a huge difference.
Well, maybe you can make a deal with one of the other departments in town to give up a vehicle.
They did that for me, and I finally gave it up because I was afraid I was going to kill the young family in a crossbow.
Okay,
And then public safety boats, we applied for a grant, but
Right.
we weren't successful. That would have been the match for that grant.
Right.
Tony, which ones would have been replaced if we had gotten the grant?
Go ahead.
So the safe boat, and then my thought was we get rid of Liberty, the small 6-passenger launch, right?
Yes, that's right.
The Eastern moves into backup launch, and that allows the town to continue to have the shallow water response, which we would not have had with the 2 brand-new vessels that we were seeking.
And what is the name of the backup launch on this list?
Liberty. Yeah. This is just a small 6-passenger launch. It's fine, but it's
and
a 6-passenger.
what's the Duffy?
What's that?
What's the Duffy?
Oh, the Duffy. Oh yeah, that's the Freedom.
Okay.
That's the big one.
Okay,
Okay. Thank
Comes from Maine.
okay.
So rather than get 2 deep water ones, wouldn't you want 1 deep water, 1 shallow?
Well, so
It's 2 different missions.
yeah,
So the 26 that we were looking at
Yeah.
is harbor and fire. The reason we were looking at that, to get the fire pump, to monitor, a lot more equipment. The smaller one would have been more marine enforcement. And we have the Eastern already. The Eastern's a capable boat, but it can also be used as a backup launch.
Right.
So it just made sense to go this route and keep that boat.
To add more to the fleet?
Well, we're not actually adding, we're just replacing.
subtracting 2 boats and adding 2 boats. So
I see the shuffle.
yeah,
Because we actually end up having more capabilities, actually getting rid of that old boat.
one of my rescues was in a spot where only the Eastern could respond. Quite literally, I was able to respond to 2 people who'd gone aground at Lobster Cove with big breaking waves. The boat's on top of the rock, and you couldn't get from the mainland over. I was able to come in and climb out of the Eastern in water just over my knees. The Eastern is so shallow that it was just fine. We were able to get those people onto the Eastern and back to the yacht club where they could be, where medical assistance could be rendered. That shallow water response capability is invaluable.
Okay. Any other questions on Harbor Capital?
Well,
I was just
absolutely.
wondering if you could give us a quick summary of Morse Pier and then also dredging.
So Morse Pier, we received the 80%. Initially, the 20% match I'd asked to be on last year's warrant for the town meeting, and it didn't get on. So I asked again, knowing that we would be getting the 80% grant from the Seaport Economic Council to pay for the construction. So we're looking for the 20% match to the grant that we have received.
But in the paper, I read that that 20% match was a little over 90,000, and
It's
there's,
113,000.
She was taking 20% of, the grant fund
rather than the
rather
gross.
than the total project cost.
So you only need 113?
Correct.
300. 113,300.
So we'll change this?
113,300.
So we'll change this,
Well,
okay.
I would like to make a suggestion.
So can I just ask, so this is for the floats that connect Reed around to Morse
Correct,
Yes.
in front of Captain Dusty, so it creates like a water loop.
yes. And that is for the commercial fishermen, that is the fishermen's facility.
That entire loop for the commercial?
Yes.
That's not deep enough.
Well, that's the thing, we're pushing the fishermen into shallower water. We're spending 116,000 for maybe 5 fishermen, and we have already promised the residents the rotunda. I would recommend we put this 116 toward the rotunda.
So,
That's my,
first of all, the engineering for this has moved the floats out, so the boats are actually in the area that was dredged in 2017.
Push them out.
So there's plenty of water. The rotunda is not our project. That is a park and rec
it's
facility.
a town project.
Oh, I don't want to get into that,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a town
We're
project.
talking about, you know, a harbor project versus a park and rec project. So,
Actually, we've classified it under the DPW, the
Okay.
rotunda.
okay. But that's
And then
not harbor.
the floats that go all the way out towards the bridge, already, that's all done, paid for.
So we're waiting on one permit. One permit.
But
yes,
that's
it's-
fully covered by a grant.
100% of the cost of that project is covered by the state and federal.
Okay.
That's all.
100%.
That's what we're talking about.
1.168.
And then on the dredging,
This is mud back in here.
uh,
Back to the walkway before we move on. Just, has anyone looked at what the insurance increase would be when the adjusters see this walkway with no railings and steep ramps and?
Well, the ramps have railings, and docks don't have railings because you fall in the water.
Has the insurance looked at our new, the wharf expansion we've had and had any
Yeah.
comment?
Yeah.
No change? Or it's like a blanket?
No, really, a few years ago, we had, we actually went out for a separate policy to make sure that we covered everything. And that's all included in that policy.
This new one as
Yes,
well?
yeah.
So
Because,
we're
like, our
already paying
general-
for it.
Yeah, our general policy doesn't cover like on the water stuff. It'll cover like up to a certain point. And then we wanted to make sure that we covered out on the water, so we have a separate policy for that, so we're already.
Dredging?
Dredging.
Alright, so we have grant, this matches it, right? So what's the total amount of that grant?
Right, so our dredging project in 2017, 2018 set the model that exists today. MassWorks grants will cover 50% of construction costs for dredging up to $5 million. This project is estimated at 3.8 million. So we can reasonably expect to get 1.9 million from the state. And then,
Is that in jeopardy?
Yeah.
Is the Mass Works program in jeopardy?
we have no word right now that there's any issue with the MassWorks.
State funded.
Yeah, it's state funded, no risk right now. SEC has become more involved with the MassWorks, Seaport Economic Council. So actually, some of the grant funding we received for dredging, engineering, and permitting, $205,000 came through SEC. So the two of them are working closely on dredging. Seaport used to be in charge of dredging a couple of decades ago. And then it was actually Manchester that set the model. So 1.9 million is what we can expect. If we get an estimate of 4 million, whatever the estimate is, we can assume we'll get 50% of that.
Do we have all the permitting done for the dredging?
We are, I think we're still waiting on the Chapter 91 DEP permit, which is the same one we're waiting for Reed Park. Typically the one that takes longest to get. We have our suitability permit. The suitability permit is a permit that says your material is clean enough to dump offshore and not truck to Ohio.
Okay.
So that is extremely important. We have that in hand. So it's going to be 3.8 and not 13.8.
So is there any reason why we wouldn't be starting the dredging this fall?
That last permit. So we've been advised by the engineers that the permitting agencies may not issue that in time for us to go out to bid for dredging this fall. So that
When
would
will you
be,
know that?
That's a neat question.
that's a neat question.
I mean, I don't want to include this in the budget if we're not going to be doing it.
Right.
That's where I'm coming from.
Right.
I don't want to do it we hope to do it because our budget's so tight this year that if we're really not going to dredge until,
2027.
right, then it would be the 28 budget.
Well, I can get an answer for you from Nate on that before
Okay.
when we come back to capital
Okay.
later in the month or so. When we spoke with Nate earlier today, we were talking about if all these projects
Mhm.
are permitted and funded, the idea would be to go out to bid with Morse and Reed as the
Yeah.
base bid.
Yeah.
And Rotunda and dredging as the adult
Adult 1 and 2.
elements, which would save a lot of money if we could do it all under one contract. So let me double check with him
Okay.
if we're allowed to put it as an add-all in a
Right.
bid document,
Right.
even if we don't have that last permit.
Yep.
I'll double check with him.
We can
I
put
think he
the
was checking on
priority
that.
project as the base bid, and then the add-on as the up,
The bid, well, we would put the ones that we have permitting for
with the rotunda, right?
and have funding for,
The ones that the residents want.
yeah.
Tony,
But-
the savings is that it just takes one startup, because you're doing all, that's where the savings is.
Yeah,
It's
not just that. There's a lot of admin, I can send you Nate's whole explanation to it, but there's also the oversight from the engineer.
Yeah.
The processing of all the paperwork and all of that, the mobilization, and then the larger the project, the more competitive the bids will be. Because now you're talking about a company maybe coming down here for a summer or two, or I'm sorry, maybe a winter or two,
Right.
or longer. They only have to mobilize once, they have their stuff here, and it's all doable by the same type of contractor, all these projects.
There are contractors that could accomplish all 4 projects. There'll be some that will bid that can't, but will be getting prices from ones that can to be subcontractors, which is part of the cost issue we ran into, both with the pilings at the rotunda and dredging.
So we need to, we know we have some projects ready to go, is that correct?
Yeah.
We know we have some ready to go in fall of '27.
Well,
So-
Reed's ready. Morse is dependent on funding, Rotunda's dependent on funding.
Yeah.
Dredging is dependent on funding and that last permit.
But who else is missing the Chapter 91?
Reed Park.
Oh, Reed Park is missing.
So
Reed
Reed
is
Park,
already, yeah.
we're expecting that
Okay,
this spring, late spring,
okay.
which would mean that it could go out to bid June, July with the rest of it.
So we need the appropriation to go out to bid for everything, even though we might not be able to start a portion of it until the next winter.
Correct.
Is that
Yeah.
accurate?
Yeah, again, I wanna double check with
Okay.
Nate, you know.
Let's
how
make
long- How long a contractor will hold a bid price
Okay.
based on when you get that final permit is what's
Okay.
coming in my head, so I would double check that with Nate.
Let's make sure we talk about it when we meet with DPW
Okay.
in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So can I just
I have
ask a
another-
question? So we're talking about 4 projects, but there are 3 here, so there's more, so I think we've talked about, that's the connection of the floats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got dredging, and then we got the rotunda, what is Reed? Can you
Reed Park
describe?
is the extension. of
Out by the
Reed Park.
railroad
And
tracks?
it's fully funded by a grant, so it doesn't
Right.
go on the
And the
the town meeting.
approximate value of that
The
is,
Reed Park project,
yeah,
it's just shy of 1.2 million
okay, and that's pilings
pilings. Yep.
going out to the railroad bridge.
Right, so the pilings, the water and power for that the new 500 feet.
Yep.
And then the pump out station out at the far
At the end, right.
Have you done a rendering of that for the people to show what a sewer line along those pilings is gonna look like?
So this is pretty common, they do these all over the place. The sewer line runs underneath the dock.
In the water,
Nope. It's
Okay.
attached,
floating
Physi-
dock, it's got a,
they're
okay, so
physically
it's a
pilings.
flexible line,
inside the dock. Yep.
okay. Well, I wanted to go back to the dredging. The 1.9 million we have under borrowing. I think there's an agreement that those bond payments will be made by the dock surplus and not be taxpayer funded? Isn't that what we were gearing towards?
Waterways Fund, you're
Waterways
talking.
fund,
Yeah, right?
as a
Is-
funding source.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we tie that in with this budget if we approve it?
So we need to look at that to see whether it's,
What's what agreement is that, are you speaking of? I don't know, I'm not aware of it.
If we expanded the harbor docks, that would fund the dredging.
no, I don't
No, I
think
get
that
the
was it. I
concept,
think
but
that
what's
the
the-
mooring holders are being charged a dredging fee.
Dredging,
And
yeah.
So
So-
there's gonna be a dredging fee, okay.
There is-
There's one being charged,
It's
and
been
I'm
charged.
assuming that would be, where is the dredging fee going?
Waterway funds.
So we need to have a portion of this covered by waterway fund. Right, when we finally do the funding for the capital?
Yeah, I'll probably do the same thing like I'm doing for the water, meter project.
Okay,
It's like whatever we assess for the water capital fee, for the harbor dredge assessment, collect it and pay down the borrowing before.
so you just don't show it on town meeting, that's something you're doing behind the
Yes,
scenes?
exactly.
No, but so at town meeting, Article 5, we vote on capital, and it always has the 5th column, 6th column funding source, and it would just say waterways fund.
No, she's
No,
saying bonding, and then
Oh,
the amount
okay.
that's bonded will be reduced by that dredging fee that's been collected, just like we did for the water meters.
Right.
We appropriated the full amount, and then the actual amount of the bond is gonna be reduced by
Okay,
those water meter fees collected. She's doing it
so
on
once
the
you,
Yeah,
books.
but I still
Once-
need like the full bond authorization.
We
those
need to
bond
appropriate.
authorizations
right, so
are-
once
The
you
whole
clear
amount.
the 27, fiscal year 27 transaction, then the bond payments, the town will cover on and on and on, but the harbor involvement with that is done. It becomes a town debt, right?
Essentially.
A
I mean,
debt
if
service,
we're-
but not connected to the waterways every
I'd
year?
probably split it, depending on how much is in the waterway fund, like how much we
Okay.
collected for the dredge fee in that year. Kind of like what we do for the
dredge fee
sewer
doesn't
fund.
go away.
Right, it keeps adding, but that's for the
Yeah.
next round of dredging, presumably.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a
Wow.
decision that we can make at that time.
Yeah.
What we wanna do, whether we wanna, sock away that dredge fee and then have, the borrowing paid for by taxation. That's something we can decide.
Right.
When we get to that debt service budget.
And to add one more wrinkle onto this, in 2016, the town approved authorization to borrow $1 million for dredging that we didn't ever use because we got grant funding to pay for that project. So we still have authorization of $1 million in 2016 that we have not utilized. So.
How do we take that off the books?
You have to go to town meeting and rescind it.
Or you could reduce this borrowing ask to 900,000 and use them both.
Okay,
And if it's borrowing, if it's just borrowing and it's not capital exclusion, and it's under $1 million, it doesn't trigger a ballot question.
okay.
And I just have to verify that $1 million is good to go still. It was voted before the Municipal Modernization Act, so I don't know if
So
we
we,
need
so where you
to
gotta
add some language
do,
to that or not, but
yeah.
It's not exactly transparent.
no, it's
Yeah.
not.
Well, can it work
I
that
might
the,
recommend against that, regardless of whether it's legal or not.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Either way, yeah, we could deal with rescinding the old article this year or future or
Well, I
not
could do it at the same
utilizing.
time, so you say, look, you said we could spend this, we didn't spend it, and now we need.
I think we
Yeah,
should
but-
just offset it. I think if you rescind it and I think it's too complicated for people.
So, but we did a while ago have various appropriations that we didn't use for whatever
But that
things.
wasn't a
And-
bond.
No, and we rolled it back.
Right, that's different from a bond.
Right, but I think saying we're going to do something in 2016 and waiting on it and then hitting it 10 years later, I would think there wants to be an explanation, and we know who gets paid the big bucks to do the explanation. But in front of town meeting floor, I do think we want to come,
Exactly,
Be
that we
clear, that's
reduce the
1.9.
amount because we have a prior
and we should
appropriation.
explain why we're doing
Yes,
it.
I agree with that. I don't think we should rescind it
Right,
and then do a new one, because if I'm sitting in that audience, I'm saying, what
what's
took
going
you
on
so
here?
long?
Exactly.
are we getting any additional moorings after this dredging? Or is
So,
it
I
anticipated?
get that question a lot. And so
Brian, could you just review for me what's being dredged, what areas? So
so the
understand.
channel
Yep,
from Can 5, where
Yep.
it needs it.
Yep.
Proctor Cove, the channel all the way into Norton's Point and Proctor Cove.
okay.
That's this project. So the answer to your question, Dean, I'm not being fresh, but we are digging down, we are not digging out. So
No more.
we're not increasing the water. Having said that, it is the perfect time to rid Proctor Cove and realign so that the boats there sit where they should. We don't have problems with watch circles. We have light vessels near each other, working our way from next to the channel all the way into the smaller boats that are going to be along the shoreline.
Sign up with the little dock things,
So
little floats.
It's
Parts
hard
of-
to dock
parts
upwind.
of Proctor Cove, certainly you could do that. The way we would increase, Dean, and get more space for vessels is alignment and bow and stern.
So there's no plan to do like Days Creek or anything like that?
No, so we'll never get a permit.
It's a
Our
shellfish.
children, our grandchildren, no one will ever get a permit to dredge it there. The last opportunity was 1956 when Proctor Cove was dredged for the first one.
Well,
Okay.
I was under the understanding that the waterway fees would fund the annual payments for the bond, not reduce the amount of the bond, but to fund, we take the bond and.
We can talk about that
Yeah.
at a future time. I don't want to bog this down with
Yeah.
funding discussion.
So to your question about just timing, I think this is
Yeah.
pretty key, what we have permits for and what falls onto this year's capital budget or what might have to push to next year. So that's pretty critical by the time we vote on capital.
Right, and I think we have to weigh it with, do we need to do, if we have to spread it over 2 years,
Right.
do we gain something by appropriating everything this year in order to go out to bid for the whole?
And that's explainable because you've got
Yes.
mobilization, demobilization,
Right.
monitoring and the actual
And,
work.
and the difference with the bonding is we're not hitting the tax rate till we actually issue the bond. So it's not like the cash exclusion where we're actually taking the money out currently. And so therefore, I think we can explain a difference. I'm not as concerned, but I am concerned with us getting appropriations
Right.
if we're not gonna be starting it during that fiscal year,
So are
at least a piece of it.
we're put this on ice until we hear back?
Well, we're not gonna vote on capital until the end.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just waiting for Tony's answers to a few things, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's the key.
And we'll talk about it when we meet with DPW and do the capital.
Okay.
We'll circle back around on this, because Nate's the one that's talking about
Right.
including everything in one project.
Sounds good.
Boy, a lot going on in the harbor.
A lot going on, but,
Yeah.
we covered a lot. We covered a lot.
Good to get the picture.
Okay, so we done with Harbor? Yes!
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you, we'll
If
see
I
some
don't,
of
if
you
I don't
next year.
have to come to the next capital meeting, it's been nice knowing you.
Farewell.
Thank you, Brian and Andy.
Sure,
Yeah.
no, thank you to
for
Tony and Andrew,
During our
because,
questions.
you know, we truly would have been, fish in a bowl. Hey, Carl, thanks for coming.
Wow.
A lot of moving pieces.
Page 27.
Wing two up, that's what I heard.
Finance department?
Yes,
Good luck. Good luck, everybody.
thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Andrea, I can't remember what the little red triangles mean.
They're just my notes in the budget. I haven't figured out a way to like not.
Her
Print
secret
them?
sauce.
I rely on my memory 100% of the time. So really not.
So am I correct, we've never hired the accounting clerk?
Correct.
So do we really need the person?
Yes, we do.
Yes, and we just settled a side agreement with the union that is a factor in it, so we will be putting that out to hire in the coming months. Now it's really just, you know, the finance department gets really busy, is really busy now, and then really busy at the end of the fiscal year. So bringing someone on in June would be a tough time to start someone. So our goal would be to kind of set it up so that they're coming on in July, but we're, we'll probably be working on putting something out for that position in the next couple of months.
Okay. So you're still here.
Did the money that we appropriated for the finance, the assistant, go back in the rain barrel?
We haven't gotten to the end of the fiscal year yet. It was
Okay.
appropriated in this
But
fiscal.
it will, okay.
It should,
Yeah.
unless we need it for transfers for other, you know, stuff.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so what do we need to know about this budget?
What do you need to know about this budget? So looking at it at the moment, I mean, it's really pretty much the same, as far as like salaries. The assistant town accountant did reach 5
Andrea,
years.
can you speak up? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
The assistant town accountant reached 5 years, so her longevity went up. As far as expenses, we did increase the travel meals just because we try to attend the Mass Municipal Accountants and Auditors Association meetings. They have one in March and one in June, and then like a day kind of workshop in November. I've been trying to get like Erin to go, like our assistant town accountant to go. I'd like the finance clerk to do some of these trainings as well. You know, I'm sure they'll get some treasure collector trainings also. So that's going to increase there. And then when he came aboard, he talked about how like used to use a utility reserve account. So we kind of shaved off some of utility costs in other departments. I didn't add those up. Can't believe I didn't do that. Just so that like if they go over, then they have to come to me and that I would pay it out of
I
this
mean, it's
line.
basically a standby account.
Why don't you have all of the utilities in your account?
Well, because you still, for each department, you wanna try and have a true cost,
Okay.
a bit, of what that
Okay.
department costs.
Yep.
The thing about utilities is the rates and how cold it is, they fluctuate, and it's really, we had a couple years ago where the rates went skyrocketed up, and then every department was coming in for major increases for that account.
Okay.
It's voted as a bottom line expense number. And if you don't end up needing it, it ends up being a lot of extra unnecessary funds, so that's why we came up with the utility reserve. So we try to level increase their utility budget in each of their departments, and that extra amount in the accounting office. So if they expend all of their utility budget in their own department, but still have utility bills to pay, because it was really cold, the money is available in the accounting office. So it's just more of like a control, really.
Like a FinCom reserve.
So at the end of the year, the last 2 weeks of the year, when we can adjust things around, is utilities one of the ones that we have latitude on? Like if fire department utilities is low, it can be put toward equipment and that sort of thing? And, because I always think of utilities as one of those things that we can move around a lot.
If you're
we're
using-
over or under on it.
It's voted under an expense, right? So if it's staying in their expense use,
Yep.
it doesn't even need a vote of the finance committee. If we're shifting it from fire department expense to fire department salaries, it
Right.
would. Or if we were going from fire department expense to select board,
Yep.
something, it would.
And that's kind of what we've done in the past, is we get within the last 2 weeks of the fiscal year, and you usually give us a list, like, okay, this is high, this is low.
Yeah, we're hoping for shorter
I know.
lists.
We're hoping for shorter lists, but utilities always seems to be kind of in that mix a little bit, so.
Andrea, what's the travel that is provided for?
So the travel meals, that's like our conferences, the accountant and honors conferences.
Are we cutting out some conferences by the $1,200 difference in the recommended versus the requested?
The 1,200 is the difference between last year and this year's request.
So it's increased.
So it's increased 1,200.
Oh, excuse me, increased $1,200, that's right, it didn't decrease.
Why is the
So
salary
that's-
for, oh, sorry. go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, let me so that's just simply an increase in the travel costs in general, or more conferences, or More training?
More people going to trainings.
training? Thank you.
And they're also, I'm sorry, they're also professional development, like I'm a certified treasurer and a certified collector. To maintain that, I need to attend these 3 out of 5
I
years.
thought, it was mostly
Yeah.
training and development. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's
okay.
required in order to maintain your certification.
Thank you, yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, Sarah.
Why is the accounting clerk salary going up so much when we don't even have a person hired? You know?
Doing really well.
That's what it'll take to hire one?
That's a big increase.
Let me look.
It's more than anybody else in the department.
Well, it is under the clerical union contract. They did have, that's more than 3%.
I'm not sure. I thought we just put the same 2.5% increase on that. Did we do?
Well, I think, I want to,
Or was
if
clerical
my memory serves me
5?
right, I believe last year I only budgeted for like 10 months because we weren't going to be able to hire right away.
Okay, so
Um,
this is 12
and I wanna
months
say
with
this
the
is 12
2.5%.
I'm just trying to double check that.
There's no red triangle.
I'm sorry, say that
There's
again?
no red triangle on that one.
Nope. I know.
You need it.
Apparently I focus on everyone else's budget, no, no. Now I'm on record saying that.
I'm sure there's a reason.
So,
I was curious go back to that reserve fund, and just might have overlapped with what you were asking Maury, but is the general fund not sufficient to kind of accommodate that random overage that might happen versus
What general
a hard,
fund? And
like our finance?
the FinCom
Yeah, the
reserve?
FinCom reserve, yes, sorry.
So like this utility reserve would be more like, I can use it on like a as needed basis, whereas the finance committee reserve, I need to, submit it to the finance committee and the select board to get that vote in order to then spend it.
So it's just
So
simpler.
it's like it's just a
Okay.
And I
different
think,
process.
I think the purpose is to cut back, am I correct, on the base utility budgets under each department and move
Handle
the
it in
excess
one-
into this account?
No, I get it, handling it in one spot.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, just curious.
It kind of helps with like, Tony was saying, like increasing those utility costs, but then all of a sudden like, maybe rates go down. And then they're like, the department's like, oh great, I have extra budget.
and they spend it.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, use it all this.
Andrea, I know you have a lot of computer software you use. This that's not in here, but where
No.
do we pick that up, or maybe
And
we've already?
IT expenses.
Okay,
So it's under the select board budget.
okay,
It's all the town's IT stuff.
I mean, there.
That's the one I was concerned about when I had a capital item for it. And I think we're not doing it, but
Were all the departments like guided with the standard 2.5% increase with extraordinary plus or minus justifications or?
Yeah, essentially, definitely on salaries, and then when we ask them for their operational requests, we ask them to separate out any significant increases or decreases, so that it wasn't just a percentage-based approach from a previous year.
Yeah.
Sometimes, last year, department may have gotten extra money in a expense line item for a project they were doing that year. We don't want to build off of that number this year. We want to come back down to,
Right.
So
we gave the finance accounting a big boost last year. I was surprised to see it again, another 3.5, but if it's justified, it is. But one other thought, a more global thought is, would there be any efficiencies gained by combining the finance accounting with the treasurer collector,
It is,
making it
yes.
one department?
Yeah, I just didn't do it budgetarily.
It is combined.
Okay.
So we're gonna
Okay.
talk about both tonight. That's why Jen's here. I was a little slow.
Mine's
on
even
the draw.
easier though, really. Easy.
And to go back to the finance clerk, accounting clerk position, it's full 12 months, and it's a portion of, I was estimating on when this person might start, and so I also included a step increase. So after, at 1 year anniversary, they go up to a step.
A
So it's a
step after
combination.
1 year?
What's that? Yeah.
yeah, that's standard.
Ooh-wee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, okay. It's a full year. Well, step, because you're expecting you're gonna hire them before the beginning of this fiscal.
No, it's not.
Maybe.
I know, we're busy.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Are you having difficulty finding people, or is it you are just busy and don't have the time to hire?
We haven't advertised it yet. We were,
Okay.
well, me just starting was part of it, and then also the changes in the finance department and working that out with the union.
Mhm.
Took some time to get through.
Any more questions on this?
Not here.
Are we ready to vote?
Sure.
So do I have a motion to approve the finance accounting of 295,665?
You do?
Is it 285?
295.
Look at the TA recommended blue box.
Oh, sorry. Those darn boxes. Excuse me.
Right.
Second, if you haven't got one.
Okay, Maurice, any more discussion? I'll take a vote. Dean,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and Sarah votes yes. Okay, now we go to page 30. For treasurer collector.
Do you wanna, touch on accounting capital first? Or come back to capital after we get the
Let's come back to
treasurer?
capital after.
So we're on for page 30, okay.
Yeah, for treasurer collector.
Let's do vote yes now, so.
That's what your next memo?
Oh, I don't know, I suppose so, Andrew asked me to put
Like
in
a
a
little
few
5 year,
words,
like,
forecast for
Oh,
coming
good.
years.
I think we need to look at what a toner and paper budget is.
It's gonna be fun,
I
Mo.
so agree.
So you're gonna be in your same space,
Yeah,
just merging the two areas?
but no hole in the wall.
Well, I personally feel like the way this town hall is set up, that there's a lot of opportunity for more efficient use of space.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, it's just,
Beautiful entryway and all.
it's a weird setup, yeah. Do you wanna give us the highlights of this?
Number one, well, so the first part is about the merger, because nothing happens quick. Again, we don't even have time right now to advertise that position. Once we get the time, we'll advertise, there's training, nothing is fast, putting a hole in a wall. This will take a couple of years to level out and start humming, is my guess. I personally believe it takes a solid year at least to train a person in our department. Some things in municipal government only happen once a year. So you need to be there a full year at least to get a full year's training. My personal department, however, my biggest concern, which is why it's highlighted at the bottom, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of borrowing coming up, yeah, there's gonna be, the staffing levels up. Technology and the changes it's having in terms of banking, security of employee data, everything like that, that's where I'm pretty much, I'm gonna be focusing highly on that.
You have been, because you just got that anti-fraud.
Oh, yeah, I mean, so there was a check wash, so I, got the microtoner.
Oh.
Yeah, I try and avoid as much ACH wire as possible at the moment, because that is where the highest level of this is occurring.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm sticking with manual and checks, I got the microtoner, it makes it hardest to have fraud right now, until the rest of the world figures out
What you're doing.
processes for how to do the rest, yeah.
So I'm glad you're vigilant on this, because I asked a question to the town clerk, but maybe it's more appropriate here, but it's concerning to have to register to so many different payment sites from a resident's perspective, to put their information on all these different sites. And I asked if there was a way we could consolidate that to just have one place to send the payments.
Sounds dreamy, but sadly, that's not how municipal works. It is all about divisions and
Right,
separations
it's
and
just-
stuff.
That's where the internet identity theft comes from now, those little third party.
That's why I'm pushing checks, come see me. We take a lot of them. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know what else to say. I mean, my vendors that I use City Hall Systems for taxes, and some, I do encourage departments that are going to collect things online to use Unipay. Those two vendors are PCI compliant and on it. Unipay is its own RTI, their own remote transaction interface, so it limits all of those possibilities. But when the fire department decides to go out and do a permit collection software, and it's
Yeah, I know.
they can use who they wanna use, I suppose, you know,
A
that's
lot of
not really up to me.
Why can't we control that more centrally?
Because the permit product he likes, that he'll be using.
Right.
Some,
And a lot of them talk, like, if different softwares talk to their systems differently than other departments. Yeah, like that. like,
There's
even
still
though
the
this is a
drop,
permit
there's always the
system, it's different.
Dropbox option now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
24/7 on that, yes.
Okay.
You can get to it through the snow.
It's a chance to show up quarterly and chat, you know, if you can check, slide them in the window and catch up on the news.
I actually came in a day early today because I was afraid we had a snowstorm Sunday, wouldn't be able to pay on
I
Monday.
thought we were gonna be slammed.
And I figured Jen would start charging us interest. even if
That's
town
not
hall
till
was
Tuesday.
closed.
That's not till Tuesday, Sarah, don't exaggerate. But yeah, I thought we'd be slammed for that same reason today, but
Yeah.
not so bad.
Well, I had a couple people comments.
Yeah, so I guess most people feel it's gonna be a wash, Tom, yes. I hope so too.
yeah,
Not another 2015, I hope, that was not good. That was a tax due date, that was awful.
Okay, so are there any questions on the treasure collective budget?
Not here.
On longevity, so you have, or steps, how does that work under the contracts?
So, like,
Step one after 1 year?
Yeah,
well, you start off at step one. After one
Okay.
year, you go to step two.
Yeah.
And then year three, you go to step three. And
Oh.
then, like, it depends on the contract. So like, clerical union, that's exactly how I mentioned it. And then once you get to 10 years, you go to step four. Once you reach 16 years, you go to step five. And then there's the different grades. So each job has classification of different levels of grade and then steps within that.
and then longevity kicks in year 5,
It depends on the contract.
depends on, okay.
I think it's pretty much your time across the board a lot, though, no?
Change the last contract.
With who, clerical?
Let's say fire.
I mean, in a way, a step at 10 years, that's another way of saying longevity too, you know? Steps in my mind are designed to help you get to the top of your game in your job. That's why 3 years, I think, is a very fair amount to assume somebody's gonna take some good 3 years. Most steps are around 3. The added ones at 10 and 16, they're designed to help people stay.
Come from private sector, we don't do steps.
I mean, it looks like the big part of the expense increases are just this new utility reserve, which theoretically should be
We're
coming out of somewhere.
treasurer, we're on treasurer collector.
Yeah.
There's no utility reserve in treasurer
Treasurer collector,
collector.
well, I was looking at them both together.
We already approved the first one, now
Good
we're on
one.
treasurer
I thought it was at
collector.
2.39 under the 2.5. I thought we'd be done by now.
Oh, no, we're just getting going. No, sorry.
So any
I'll
questions?
make a motion to approve treasurer collector for the amount $242,525.
Second.
John
Second.
seconds. Any more discussion? Take a vote, Dean,
Yes,
John,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. Okay.
I'd love to stay, but.
Do you want to say anything about?
What? No, we're going to capital.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you want to say, Peter?
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything about the income side of the treasure collector. The page.
Well, it's kind of hard because they collect income for all these other areas.
Yes, and I didn't know if there was anything to be discussed there.
I'm grateful they
the
kept.
taxes are too high.
What type of entities do payment in lieu of taxes?
Payment in lieu of taxes?
We have two.
Nonprofits?
Yeah, it would be
Housing
nonprofit, housing authority, school. If there was like a, maybe Gordon, I don't know if they pay a pilot.
No, we have two right now.
Landmark.
We have two.
Yeah, it's just the housing authority and
And,
another, Another property, another housing property.
Yeah, another housing
I
property.
believe Jenny had worked on Gordon once upon a time, back in
Yeah.
the day.
Michelle started looking at it again, this past year.
Some of the private schools, do they pay taxes?
They pay tax, I
Oh,
believe so, I believe, to look. I know they don't pay a, pilot payment.
We had a $1 dog fine. That's what the number said.
Any, I presume, well, most of these are kind of fixed, but are you able to do benchmarking on any other communities and whether we're low or high on what we're, I mean, I think most of this is kind of like regulated, right? But I guess where I'm just going is, is there anything here on this list that we're not charging enough on?
like municipal lien fees,
Or that we're notably different.
do we have
Notably
flexibility
low
in
or
municipal
high
lien
on.
fees?
We do. I'm willing that changed, it can go up.
It's still limited.
It's limited, it's definitely limited, it's not a huge money maker. I mean, maybe 5 years ago, it would have been great when everybody, and their brother was refinancing, but,
Mhm.
that's not a huge money maker at this point. You might do one lien a week,
Okay,
I mean, one MLC a week right now.
Otherwise, all the rest are
Pretty
pretty
defined.
I mean,
yeah.
I was dreading this question someday, waiting for everybody to come to me and say, hey, you need to generate more money, which typically people don't come to me and say, especially when interest earnings have been great and this and that, but if it ever got super tight, I would have to responsibly present to the town the option to increase demand fees, which is not popular to me since I'm the one collecting them from. But it is an option. We are minimal on demand fees in the state. It stinks though if somebody's late with a $10 payment and you wanna double it with the fee or triple it, which you could. Yeah, so I have not pushed that one, but it's an option at some point.
You have an exceptionally high collection
I
rate.
think the gain
Yeah, I
you
do
get
have
for that
a-
versus the negative will
Yeah.
is like a bad trade-off
Yeah,
at the
because
moment.
everybody's
but
late at some point,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
wouldn't,
People used to, this happened in my last community, and they were so irate about the fee.
Yeah.
And they voted for it at town meeting, and like, everybody thinks they're not gonna be late when they vote for it, but inevitably, everybody's gonna be late at some point, you know, so, yeah. And the collection rate here is really good, I see no need to up the
Does a
penalty for.
fantastic job.
How are we doing on auto excise? I feel as though that one can be quite variable and increase.
That one is about to go out February 9th. Everybody, watch for your bills. It is a lot of work in my office. It's almost 3 real estate buildings in one. There's about 5,000 cars plus inside, you know, and it brings in, this one's gonna bring in 985,000 if I collect 100% of it. It's not even $1 million yet, you know, it's a lot of work for not the biggest bang, but
but it's all, the rates are controlled by the state.
yeah, oh yeah, it's all state
Totally,
regulated.
okay.
And it's controlled by that and how expensive a car you purchase.
My $62.85 doesn't help you.
No, but it's $2.50 more than mine, so.
I guess that sort of just begs the question, are there services or software that you don't have or could have that would make that job easier?
Motor vehicle?
Like AI? I'm not going there because that puts it all in the public realm, but I don't know. I always perk up when I hear somebody say I'm spending a whole lot of time for
Well,
not
it's
a
a lot
lot.
of time because as you can imagine, 5,000 bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody submits a check and it's not signed, oh, we have to. Somebody takes 3 of their car's bills, adds them together and adds wrong.
Mhm.
You know, pushing them towards online would make that a little better because the amounts pre-populate in there, but I understand people not being comfortable paying online.
Right.
So it's just a lot of individual bills, 5,000 individual things that could go wrong. And it's just me and the assistant there. A lot of people come in person to ask questions. A lot of people get rid of a car. I don't have this car anymore. I totaled this car. So it just, that's, until the state gets rid of excise and just throws it all into real estate or whatever, then
Mhm.
we're gonna deal with that, yeah, unfortunately.
And we collected 1.2, looks like here, roughly, last year. and you're talking about 900,000 in
So
bills.
multiple commitments go out throughout the year. So this one going out in
Yes.
February is what we call the big one.
That's right, yes,
That's-
car,
If you don't make any change to your vehicle, you're only gonna see one bill a
right,
year.
but if you do,
But throughout the year, people do make changes, they register new vehicles,
Yep.
and that creates new commitments that go out, and eventually it gets over that all year round. But this one commitment is 1 month of collecting 5,000 bills in 1 month. That's where the
that's where the
it makes
effort is.
March really difficult, yeah. February, March.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sarah?
Yes, Steve.
On the revenue from parking fines, the 36.8, is that the net after we pay the vendor who collects it, or is that the total?
Where are you
amount?
I think you're
looking?
looking at town clerk.
Yeah.
We're looking at treasurer collector.
What am I looking at? Town clerk?
We're on page 31.
Okay, I flipped the wrong way.
It's a good question, though.
I would be more than happy not to answer, I was just
Yeah.
you, I don't know, so.
Never mind.
Anything else on revenue?
No,
So
not here.
treasurer collector. Okay. Capital.
Capital.
So two capital requests from accounting, municipal financial system software replacement at $150,000, which is not included in the recommendation. And then computer IT upgrades and assessments for $65,000. So do you want to explain those two, Andrea?
Sure, so we've kind of talked about the municipal financial software. The one that we currently have is still being supported, but not improved or enhanced or anything like that. So we don't know when the company is gonna be, sundowning the product. I know a lot of I keep in constant contact with, my peers, and I'm sure you do too, about people switching from this software. So I keep putting it out there just to, keep it on the radar, because I know it's a big thing to convert. I threw it, once here, and then I helped 2 other communities do a conversion, so I know the lift that it takes, but I don't know, I know the budget constraints are happening, and
Andrew, when
just
I
put it off.
pushed on this a little bit last time, I was concerned about the lack of support for the current software. That was more my concern, and
Right, so we don't have lack of support right now, there's 2 people that we can call and things like that right now. I just, even I talked to a rep, and, hey, do you guys have any plans? Are you guys talking about, trying to switch us over to, they have another product. Unfortunately, it doesn't have, motor vehicle excise. So there's issues with that.
Can't use that.
We can't use the software that doesn't, why would we go to the software that doesn't have what we use, right? So we have demoed a couple other ones. So I'm just throwing it out there because I know it's gonna come, and I'd rather do it sooner than later, because I don't want, to keep kicking it, I'll kick it down, so far, but there's gonna be a time where everybody that's still on it is gonna be leaving at the same time. That's what my fear.
What's the duration of the contract?
It's a year-to-year contract right now.
Based on fiscal year or
Right.
off? Okay.
So it's if there's not a term ending date, it's just we renew annually with a 5% increase every year.
So they have to give you a year's notice, I would think.
I hope so. But even a year, I would prefer a full year to
Yeah,
convert, because I would like to review our chart of accounts, review our operations to make it the most efficient that I possibly can, and also satisfy all the reporting requirements and things like that.
Companies want
So-
6 months to work on a conversion with you typically.
At least
too.
I prefer a year, to be honest. I've only
It's a
been through
lot of
3.
work.
so do you think
It's a ton of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's been
yes.
11
we'll be
years.
seeing this next year? I mean, what, I assume.
Yeah, so I hope to do it next year. And then one of the other reasons that I mentioned before that I wanted to push it off is that our regional IT initiative got a grant to help the communities in the consortium to change our web domain address from .ma.us to .gov, and that just helps with security. You have to go through an application process to get a .gov domain name. It helps any of our emails go. If we send a resident an email, it's less likely to get into junk or spam or anything like that. So it helps communicate, it's more secure, it's harder to spoof. And so it's just it's a good thing to do. Even though, again, another conversion, all our logins are gonna change, it's gonna be redirections on the website and things like that, but I think it's a smart move to do now for the future.
And there's probably fees, annual fees as well, I'm guessing.
There is, but they'll probably have it'll switch from what our current domain is charging to the next, it might have like a double, we'll have to pay for two for 1 year, or maybe a little
It would be-
more.
I think
But
you'll
it'll
have to
switch
pay
over,
for
so-
two for a lot longer.
But it won't be the full price, of maintaining like 2 full websites.
Mhm.
Mostly we'll just be paying for the domain name to move us over to the new one.
So hopefully if your software you're currently using, you're gonna have like 12 months notice that it's stopping as opposed to, hey, it's gonna stop being supported and we have a problem and it's crashed and we've got 3 months of runtime. So,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, but even if they did give us 12 months, they're giving us plus 30,
Everyone else.
50 other communities 12
Right.
months.
Yeah.
And there's only so much bandwidth that there's very few municipal financial software that can handle Massachusetts general laws and compliance and things like that. So that'll be really hard to switch over to another company that
Yeah.
is also trying to,
We want all their attention, not
Yes.
while they're
Right.
working on 12 other
Yeah.
communities.
Does the contract give you the advance notice that Maury was just mentioning?
I have not seen that language in our current contract. It was one of those things where we got into the contract, the company sold again, and
Oh, yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Way of the world.
Right,
But
exactly.
companies don't tend to shut down
No,
Right.
software
yeah.
on a dime.
No, but
No,
they
they
like
don't.
to.
I was
They
just
merge
wondering
with
if the
somebody who's
contract
not
actually gave
compatible.
you the
It
benefit
seems
of
like
what
everybody's
Maury was
favorite
talking
thing
about.
to create a software they can build up and then sell.
Yeah.
That's happened to
They'll
many
stop.
small.
They'll stop offering support,
That's
so
what
you'll still be able
Right.
to use the software, but
I hope so, but we'll still have,
Usually they give notice.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
but they
not
were-
something they do
Right.
today and say, sorry, we're not gonna support you starting tomorrow.
right.
no,
And I'm
no,
sure
there's
they'll-
notice, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure they'll push us to their other platform that
Right.
they're
Right.
moving forward.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
and computer IT upgrades, can you just remind us what that is?
So that is, we're due for a vulnerability assessment. We did an I don't know if you remember, last year we did an internal one, now we're gonna be doing an external one. It's highly recommended for us to do that, to test our systems, to make sure that we don't get any ransomware and things like that. The other thing too is we are overdue for computer replacements. Originally, when we bought the last computers, we wanted to be on a 3-4 year cycle. We're past 5. So we've been replacing ones that have been dying, but it really desperately need a full replacement.
So how
And we're
many does this
hoping-
Yeah, how many
include?
are we, yeah.
It includes about 35 desktops and I want to say 10 laptops.
We're still using desktop?
Well, we might switch. We might just do laptops.
So
And how
is-
many-
Because a lot of our staff are here. They're not remote, so a desktop is cheaper than a laptop.
Yeah, but a day like Monday, people could have worked from home with a laptop.
Well, some of us did.
I mean, but I'm serious. Companies switched to laptops
Yeah,
years ago.
but
Even though you were working in the office, you still switched to laptops to give you flexibility.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what we're looking at too. Because there's only a handful of us that have VPN access to our server here.
Yeah.
And we're looking to switch our VPN provider to another, hopefully more secure and one that works more consistently. So it's a work in progress.
yeah, but like
So how
my
many-
assistant, she's here to serve the public, and on a day that you're closed, there's no public, but also you don't bring things like checks and money home to work on, so not everybody has to work.
Most of the people that can do.
So how many pieces of equipment do we have, computers and laptops?
Pull this up.
wanna do virtual machines? People do that at all?
I wanted to move to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really wanna move to that.
We
That's,
still maintain servers.
I mean, eventually the plan, I'll have to get you that information, Sarah, I don't wanna hold up the whole meeting, but, one of the plans, like, we used to have 4 servers here, we're down to 2, just for the redundancy, but the plan that we'd like to have is now that we're done with the fiber loop, through the school in Essex and down to the Danvers IT, is that we'd like to move those servers to Danvers, so that way it eliminates our server cost. They maintain it, and it'll be just part of our assessment to them. And they have the economies of scale, they're already doing Essex's servers. I know the other communities in the consortium are also looking to do that as well. Because it makes sense, we don't have our own IT in-house, they do, and they have the capacity, and they're able to build out their capacity to help all of our other communities as well.
Yeah, that would be a lot cheaper, thank you.
It is, it saved us so much money, like even our cybersecurity alone has saved us thousands. And we have like the top rated cybersecurity.
I mean, the box is like buying a laptop is way more expensive than just having basically a monitor. Like keyboard.
It is, yes.
So I guess
So-
my question by asking about the number of pieces of equipment is what is our plan to replace everything, get back on track of having a routine replacement schedule?
So,
So the ones I'm proposing right now are the ones to get us back on schedule.
Okay,
And then the plan is to like in 3 years, hopefully by then we'll be in the virtual
okay.
server system so that we won't need to replace, we'll just
Well, the other thing is like
need the little boxes.
I use stuff for work on it. Like the machines now are so powerful, you don't need. Like I don't need all the power. So like updating them every 3 years used to be a thing because you know you kind of got to their limits. Now,
You don't have to do them every 3 years.
yeah,
Yeah,
unless they break, obviously you gotta
Right.
do that. But they're
Yeah.
they're have so much power, processing power, memory, all that kind of stuff. You never use it all.
so you don't have to keep upgrading
Right,
because,
so
yeah,
it's like the
One
phone
of the
iPhone now. Like, you don't need to
challenges,
the phone doesn't do anything different.
isn't one of the challenges the whole Windows 10, Windows 11 thing? And is there any
Yeah.
vulnerability on that, or?
We did, but we were able to handle that within the current budget.
Okay, good.
okay. Is that it on capital for finance department? Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, Andrea has to stay. Jen can leave. Sorry.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
See you around.
So it's after 9 o'clock. So, well, he was suggesting we do non-appropriation, but maybe we put that off to another week.
It's not, isn't non-appropriation like 3 or 4 items?
Yep,
It's
we can do it.
MBTA and,
Yeah, we can do it.
Although I have changes. The state came out with their FY 27 Cherry Street assessment, or, yeah, assessment, on
Maybe-
Friday.
What page is it?
Oh, 18.
18. The governor's the governor's version came out Friday. So that, there'll be changes to the state budget as they go through the House and the Senate, but we have the governor's numbers now. Those are the changes that Andrea made.
Or should we wait until the budget
Yeah,
gets
well-
approved along or not?
The budget won't be approved by town meeting.
They usually don't sign that until July, you know?
Not the sign, but you kind of get to almost
Yeah.
where they're gonna be.
Yeah. They don't change significantly.
Dean, can you pass those on?
That was official.
I'm not coming up.
So if you're looking at page 18, this, what I just handed around, updates the numbers in that bottom section that says state county assessment. Instead of the 195,840, it should be 196,750.
I'm sorry, what?
So on the page, on the, that bottom section that starts with 01800,
Yeah,
state and county assessments, motor vehicle park surcharge, mosquito control, et cetera, that total is 195,840. See that? So this paper that I just handed around replaces those numbers.
Okay.
So the FY '27 governor's local aid proposal is $196,754 for Manchester.
So it went up.
Yep.
Not down. I thought she was giving more to the towns.
She might give us more receipts to offset it.
Is mosquito control, that's mandatory,
It's optional.
is it optional?
It's optional, but we still have to pay for it.
Do other communities?
Oh, we have to pay for it even if we don't use it?
Yes.
I think it's a pass-through essentially though, right?
Oh, I thought you had a right to say yes or no to it,
You have a right to say yes or no to use it.
but you still pay for it.
Still pay
Well,
for it.
okay.
Everyone pays.
The
But
motor
it
vehicle
comes
park
through-
surcharge, we got a lot of motor vehicle parks here.
And then air pollution districts, is that, I don't even know what quite that is, but yeah, I guess the answer is, it is what it is, just regardless, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's the state saying, these are the things that we allocate to
There's nothing to do about it,
communities
you gotta pay this.
to pay.
To pay,
Exactly.
What are we gonna do?
Right.
Cost to live within this congestion.
You know,
and a vehicle non-renewal surcharge. Might I, who the heck knows? MBTA, I'm all too aware.
So if we add this 196,754 and the hundred, and we add,
$312.
I'm confused about this 312 total at the bottom, I don't see how it adds up to that.
it's because I include the allowance for abatements and exemptions of 100,000.
But 100,000 to 196 is only 296, and this was 312. Oh, you also added the
16,749.
16,749.
Other
On the
amount.
16, yeah.
So what's the new total?
The new total is 313,503.
Thank you. I didn't feel like adding. Do I have a motion to approve the 313,503 and the non-appropriated expenses?
I guess you do, yeah, I
Peter?
mean, yeah.
We don't have much option,
Do I have
do
a
we?
second?
And I guess you have a second.
Andy seconds. Okay, take a vote. Dean?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Peter?
There,
Sarah
yes.
votes yes. Okay. Done. Okay, minutes from January 22nd.
We adopt them, I've read them, I'm.
Yep.
Are we okay with them?
It's a waste of time.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the January 22nd, 2026 minutes?
You do.
Peter, Maury seconds.
More seconds.
Discussion? Take a vote. Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Abstain.
John,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes.
Question on minutes, not about content. Can we download them?
What do you mean?
So, we can link in to the site to get them, but can we make a copy and just store it in a folder?
Yeah, if you go to, I sent out like a little image, I can send it out again where you go to
Okay.
file and make a copy,
Okay,
and then you can save it where you.
save as your own copy. Perfect, okay, thanks.
I just wait till they get put on the website.
That's fine too. I find I can search very quickly by putting in a keyword. Pulls up anything relevant.
Okay.
So the next meeting's got a pretty big lineup, right? It's got the fire department, recreation,
Yeah, and veteran services.
veterans is
Yeah.
easy skeezy.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
You don't wanna go through TA and select board tonight?
No. It's too late, too late.
Which meeting are we at? We can have that on the calendar.
I had it for tonight, but I can bump it down. That's something that we can always.
I
if we
didn't
have the time.
understand that that was a separate thing, the way I had the last the way the one before was written, it was just on the line below, it was like I thought maybe the select board and the town administrator were gonna be there.
Oh,
I didn't realize that it was a budget, so it's,
that's okay, we can do it another night.
okay. I'll circle it to make sure that, yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't post I was gonna post the agenda today for next week, but I didn't do it. Okay, anything else?
Well, this is the agenda for next week as far as departments, right?
Yeah, I just have to officially post an
Got
agenda
it, yes, I understand.
and create a little Zoom.
Yep.
Zoom.
Do we hear any rumblings from the school about evolutions, or I mean? is there anything-
They did come back and asked for 226, so that's, we bumped them down. The last time, I don't know if you talked about this last week, I wasn't here, but
We didn't, to my knowledge.
the last time I was with you, we were hoping to do them on 219,
Oh, he's talking the date.
the date, and they asked for February 26th. So we swapped assessor and school.
And I was asking about,
Tony and I have a meeting on next Wednesday. Next
with
Thursday,
whom?
with the school committee, finance subcommittee, one rep from that, one rep from the Essex FinCom, one rep at the Essex TA. I think Ann's on it as a rep from the select board, and they have one rep from their board of selectmen. And so that's to discuss the budget again.
Okay.
So we'll report back on our meeting next Thursday if we find out anything of interest.
I should have a report from the most recent school committee meeting, but it was virtual, so I decided I'd watch it over the weekend.
And then
I know that they're working on reducing their budget, and they have specific areas where they think they can make reductions without affecting the program.
And then just a quick update on health insurance.
Yes.
Maya board met and voted to not, to exclude GLP-1s starting July 1st.
Oh, wow.
So
I don't know what that means.
GLP-1s are like diabetic weight loss medication.
Thank you.
Ozempic and things of that nature, which have completely exploded, the market.
Yes, yes.
So with that change, their range of potential increases, their max was at 20.2% if they continued to support GLP-1s. Now the max is at 14.5%. We expect based on our loss ratio that will be closer to the max. So what we have in the budget right now is a 20% increase. So we'll know in mid-February what our actual assessment is, but we're running numbers to see, we're now like closer to the 15% increase range is more comfortable. So that was a big
Yeah, that's
adjustment.
So for next week,
They don't make any more money.
can we have some of these updates put in and get the new estimated tax
Yes,
thing and what our gap is on the school?
yes.
Okay.
That'd be
Okay.
perfect.
I like to keep watch of that, just
Yeah,
so that,
agreed.
Any news on trash or contract there? and-
They're working on it. Republic's working on it. I didn't expect it to be so hard to ask them to give us, numbers to renew a contract. It's like we have to keep poking them,
Yeah.
where are we? But they came back and said, as long as there's a commitment to move to automated, we could deal with it for a year, but we'll put together numbers for you, so. We don't have those yet, though.
And was there a water thing break before the town hall? I noticed that we were digging on.
It was National Grid, it was an electric outage, yeah.
it was there
Really?
Sunday morning.
Yes.
I walked by to go to church and there's two National Grid guys, this is it, right before the storm, there's two National Grid guys kneeling on the street, looking in the hole.
Yeah. And that was,
That was like 10 o'clock and the storm hit like 11. I said, oh, this is not good.
but
This is Sunday.
it actually started the week before when I was
Yeah.
on vacation.
Yes.
Was when the first
Wow.
issue started and.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had trouble.
They were there this afternoon on
They're
Central
still- yeah,
Street.
yeah.
Fire in Maple.
Oh, is that what?
Really? Scary.
Okay, thank you.
Do you wanna, CPC update?
Oh, sure, yes.
We had a meeting tonight. There's 4 housing authority members on that committee.
I know.
And they voted, they kept the 200,000. Jack's gonna be talking with you, I'm sure. They also felt like the signs were a valuable expense, so, they really did.
So what'd they do about the rotunda?
Well, they're still in a holding pattern. Like, you had said that you wanted to bond it outside the CPC, and we were gonna try to minimize the total amount,
By putting,
and then have CPC fund
yeah,
the bond payments.
no, no,
But then at the end, then that came out that we couldn't do
No, we
that.
never were talking CPC funding the bond
We
payments.
weren't.
What we,
Well, like chipping in eventually.
no, what we discussed last week was for them to make cash payments
Payments,
to
yeah.
offset the amount of the ultimate loan we'd have to borrow.
Right, that's what we were trying to drain the kitty
Right,
to
Which
do
I
that.
found out, and I confirmed with Nate the timeline of that, like the project will be done, prior to us going out, so like,
but you could wait and issue debt on July 1st of 28, couldn't you?
not without.
July 1st of 27.
Not without hitting our free cash. I can't have a deficit in a capital projects fund
Because
at
you're,
year end. So that's why we usually borrow or ban at June 30th, so that we have the money for our balance sheet and reporting purposes.
Okay.
So there was a
So,
big,
yeah, so it's,
yeah,
I mean, if I could, then yes, like we could do the
there
extra
was a
payment
big
for.
cloud of uncertainty at the meeting over how we were
Yeah.
gonna still, it's
Yeah.
ongoing, yeah.
so if town meeting, if the April town meeting, April 27 town meeting voted for it, then you probably could zap free cash because CPC would come in the next day. Right?
Are you talking like CPC funds that they have?
No, I'm talking about, we know they don't have any reserve left, so it's new dollars in. And so if we took a vote at April town meeting 27 for, let's say, 400,000.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be funded to us on July 1st of 27, which is the first day of the next fiscal, couldn't you zap free cash for one day? So you didn't have a deficit? Why not?
State law.
Department
Department of
year
Revenue.
end, I gotta report your accounts that
Department
day,
of Revenue.
right? That's
Yeah.
Department of
That's
Revenue.
the only day they look at, only day anyone looks at.
Did send 3
Okay.
blue lights instead of just 1 blue light for that one.
So Jack's coming to the select board meeting on Monday. I wanted to run the proposal that you had talked about last week by the select board before I gave Jack and the CPC any sort of confirmed direction.
Wow.
Well, I think that they weren't gonna vote for bonding this year. They were gonna put it in next year, which would be too late. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you could still, yeah, I mean, you need bond authorization then, but it doesn't mean you're gonna spend the money that fiscal year.
I don't know.
But good reserve
I think
this year
finance
for-
committee was really dead set against. bonded through
CPC.
CPC.
I got the
Surely is.
message. I just, being that it's a town application to CPC, I
Yeah.
wanna make sure the select board's comfortable with that approach before
No, I
telling CPC which way
Right.
we're going.
Right.
I understand that.
That's your job.
Okay.
Report to your boss first.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
You do.
Peter moves, Maureen seconds. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Good.